My goodness, this team's disgusting.
No, I know that's also like, damn. I was like, who let this man draft this?
Jesus Christ, this team's nasty. It delayed the intro. All right, let's get the intro. Okay. Welcome back, guys, to another Draft Division recap. We are focusing on the Cherish Ball in this episode. Cherish Ball, 4 great players, but before we even get to them, introducing the co-host, the guy that's helping me out here, Gilbert. Say hi to the people.
What is?
So, in the Cherish Ball, we have the Washington Walreins, coached by Piranha Plant. We have the Soviet Shedinjas, coached by Soviet Usurped. We have the Bay Area Basket Legions, coached by Aragon. Again, I'm not great with names, so I'm sorry. And then we have Reese Golems, coached by Josh Joshins. 4 great team names, couple good logos in there. We'll go ahead and start with Washington Walreins, not by the logo, but by the draft. This draft, ironically, Gilbert, it's fire, man. It's a fire team. But he's got rain. Tell me about it.
Now, where did I even start? I had so much to break down. Just real quick, Ladias. I have a special spot for Ladias. I use her for season 1.
Shout out to
we realized how broken she was. Just she's been banned for 3 seasons now. She's finally came back. 4 seasons. I apologize. She was banned for 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Yeah, finally back in the 5th season. Melmetal, he picked it up early.
Second pick overall. Yep.
Yeah. The Zapdos. You know how good Zapdos is, Mikey. Come on, tell the people how good Zapdos is.
I want it every season, and every season it's used against me. Yep.
A Weavile. I use Weavile for my season 2 championship. Thank you, Weavile. Won me a couple games. And the Crossma, we finally let a legendary like this available. Super scary. Polytoad for the rain, you know. He's called Little Wayne because he's gonna make it rain.
He's gonna make it rain. So stopping there real quick. So how does the rain? Obviously, he's got the Ludicolo. That's the most obvious one. But in your opinion, how does the rain really help this team synergize? Right? I mean, you got to look straight at the Melmetal, right?
Oh my goodness, helps out Melmetal. Melmetal is Zapdos. Zapdos, Melmetal, love it. And those 2 work together. The weaknesses that Melmetal doesn't like, Zapdos takes care of. The weaknesses that Zapdos don't like, Melmetal takes care of. So they work very good together. Polytoad. And on top of that, Polytoad helps out Ludicolo as a great C-tier Mon. I know I also used him a couple seasons back against me. And he did a lot of work with the Hydro Pump, with the Giga Drain, and all that. Yeah, just look at it. See, man, that rain is going to do a lot of work, especially for Latias as well. Latias is going to also have Thunder, consistent Thunder to go off of, and Choice Specs, Surfs to go off of. So I think Polytoad just really good for the whole team. Great synergy.
Yeah, this is one that I'm looking at True Necrozma because I had Necrozma as an S tier, and I'm just staring at its stats right now. You know, now maybe its moveset isn't as great, but if he wrecks, I'm just saying, if this Necrozma wrecks the league, or he's just a menace with it, I'm just gonna gloat a little bit, cause I'm one of those like I told you tones, cause like look, I had this thing in S tier, this thing to me, but we'll see. Melmetal itself, you could argue, hey, that should have been an S tier. I fully understand. Be very interested to see how players plan around it, because you would think, okay, well, we also have, we can hit it with the fire type, right? We can hit it with the fighting type. We can hit it with the ground type. Well, with the rain, you can't hit it with the fire type anymore. With the fighting and the ground type, Latias and Zapdos both stop both of those types. One has Levitate, the other one's just not affected by it. It's a flying type, right? It's not affected by it. And then fighting doesn't hurt either of them. It's not very effective to either of them. They both beat it. Melmetal, as we know, is going to be this core of this team. I don't see why it doesn't get brought every single singles battle at minimum. Gilbert, tell us about the Nidoking that you're so in love with.
Nidoking has a special place in my heart.
Nidoking. Pronouns. Pronouns.
Oh, okay. I apologize. Let me call it Days.
Yes. Nido Days, right? Tell us about the Nido Days.
2016 Kanto Classic. Nidoking brought a special place in my heart. It is versatile. Can go offensively, physically, and special. That 85 special, don't sleep on it with sheer force. Man, he has a moveset to go with it. We know this. It'll take me too long to go through his moveset. Let's just say he gets everything in the book. Got any coverage you want.
Yeah, everything. He's a great C tier. Arcanine as well is one that can really help. We've seen Zacchaeus in seasons past. He won season 3 with it. The Arcanine is a very good pickup as well. Very good draft by Washington Walreins, who also was second overall in the preseason, so we know that he can battle. Moving on to the Soviet Shedinjas. This was, again, full disclosure, as we mentioned in one of our other videos. So this player overall was not here for the draft. Had to miss it, unfortunately. Did not send me a list of any kind because he didn't know that he would miss it. Had some stuff pop up. So he had to pick up nothing but free agents. But Gilbert, tell me why this team can still work.
Oh, man, I've been pushing for every team to be in the league for how long now? And
that is your personal, so I know you want to see this Victini, right? You really want to see it do well.
He just gets so many moves. His move pool for being a fire psychic, he gets ice, he gets electric, he gets one of the best fire type moves in the game will be create like 100 across the board. We know how good that is. You can run offensive or defensive, either or as well.
He's got just the move set, right? The move pool is so deep. I think it is. He's got a good, and it's not just a generic move. It's a strong move pool. Yeah, it's a strong. Now, one of the other Pokemon that I was very surprised that we actually had, I was surprised made it through the draft, and then after the draft, I guess everybody realized that it was still there, and I had 4 players ask about it, but I gave him priority since he missed the entire draft. The Metagross. All of a sudden, everybody was trying to pick up Metagross. What do you even think about his A tiers, right? He scooped them up after. I think these A tiers are still solid. Maybe coming from BDSP, OU, you know, from bias there. But how do you think these guys are going to fit in? Kind of, you know, as we know, it's the power creep that happened after Gen 4.
No, man, they're still great. The Metagross with clear body doesn't get affected by Intimidate. Super good. He has agility. I don't understand how he got left out. Man, people need to get their bifocals out because he's really good. Heracross, Moxie Heracross with Choice Scarf will destroy a team if you let him. If you take out the right mons and let him just close combat anything down, right? Yeah, it's GG's people. Starmie with still a 115 speed, still 25 years later, 115 speed is still great, and Alex Starmie is just going to wreak havoc against the team. Azelf, I ran him in season 3. Probably one of the best Nancy Pot setup users that we have in our format. Super good. I mean, I love all his
to me, I think Azelf is one of the top 5 leads in draft format because its move pool as well is so versatile. You're almost guaranteed to get up rocks, and then you can kind of guess what your opponent's lead is going to be, right? Because you see their roster right in front of you, so you know what to counter with, right? And man, I think that Azelf is going to cause a lot of problems. I think it's, if used correctly, that should be one of the MVPs by the end of the season, depending how it goes. Now, what about skipping over to those C tiers? He got some bulk. Those C tiers are thick with a couple C's at the end. Literally with the C tiers, you know.
Well, Lord. Well, just look at his right there, man. Well, Lord. Audino, man. Audino is a very underrated Pokey. Very good one.
It's a great wish passer, right? It's a great wish passer.
Yeah, great wish passer. The Seismitoad, very. If somebody brings rain against him, that Seismitoad's gonna love it because the Seismitoad gets Swift Swing. So you gotta also be careful what you're bringing against him, and because one of his C tiers likes it so much. Now his B tier wise, the one I like is Pangaro. Pangaro, super strong, one of the best knockoff users we have. Underrated bulkiness with 95 HP, and his bulk's okay. Very good mon. I like it a lot. For not attending the draft, I think I had brought this up, man. You don't need a draft. You know, you to be at the draft is okay, but if you don't draft, I still think you'll have a great team overall, and this is showing it.
Right, that's what the tiers are for, and how you're saying that knockoff from the Pangoro is not gonna. That's going to leave a mark, right? So moving over to the Bay Area Basque Legions. It's coached by Aragon there. Got the Tornadus and the Latios, man. Just right off the bat. We'll actually just start there. S tiers.
What more can you ask for, man? Let's be honest.
It's a bit
Both of them-
overkill, no?
both
two
of
S
them,
tiers?
both of them do two separate things, but both of them do it great. Larios, we know this. Throw choice picks on it and let them go. We'll drink a meter.
Drop
That's
a
all.
Draco,
You
right?
go.
Shout out Pokey He would love that.
And but
Tornadus, right? Tornadus, part of Chino's, one of the main cores of Chino's.
generator,
Yeah, part of Chino's championship team last season.
and his A tiers. Let's look at those A tiers. They are all solid. Cobalion, as we both know, great self-rock setter, great typing, very good. Entei, I love Entei. I have a special spot for Entei. He won me my season 2 league because he had eruption, he had solar beams, he had everything he wanted. Don't gotta go into detail. Glacier, this is our first time seeing this Mon, and I'm very interested to see what he does with it, my dude. Very interested because this Glacier has a 145 attack, and I've never seen it used by itself because I watched VGC, so I only see his bigger counterpart. But I'm very interested what this Glacier can do. Keldeo. Now tell me about the Keldeo. You brought him down from S tier. Why he get moved down for? So give me that real quick. Why he got brought down?
That was one that the community wanted. I did use the Keldeo last season. Didn't really have what I wanted. The lack of ice type coverage is what hurt it, right? And Icy Wind just doesn't cut it, unfortunately. But I did return it as an S tier. I was nervous about having it too high, and the fact that the players voted for it to go down to A, to me, is essentially it's a Mon that has S tier value, but it's just in the body of an A tier. So I think it's definitely one of the best A tiers at this point now. Which, hey, you love to see it, right? I'd rather at that point maybe be used. It doesn't seem like it'd be broken at that point. But he does. Sorry, go ahead.
No, look at him. He has the same problem where I was speaking earlier. Who's he drop?
Yeah, what does he drop? Right, there's so many those A tiers. You feel bad by not he's the guy that plays his adventure and he just carries nothing but legendary Pokemon because half his team is legendary Pokemon. This guy's got all the legendary Pokemon with him. Might as well beat him with stats. But even on the back end of that team, right, the Galarian Slowking, the Porygon 2, right, he can do some trick stuff as far as parting shot, right, with the Alolan Persian. C tiers, he's a bit thin at C tier though. He's how can you make those work? If you're in his shoes, how can you make either of those two C tiers work?
Give Pinter a choice scarf and just let him go with that 125 attack and just be okay with it. Because I think his A and S tiers cover it up so well, and his B tiers do as well. Well, Galarian's Slowking, we know how good he is. Porygon 2 with the Eviolite, man, yeah. I think he seems very well rounded. His C tiers can be lacking. I think this is one of the very few teams I see the C tiers. Probably not the best, but it's okay because everything else makes up for it. That's how good his draft was.
Right, that's a really good point. Really good point. Let's head over to the Greasy Golems, coached by Josh Joshins. And as we look, he's got the Terrakion, he's got the Zarude, he's got D-Knight. The Alolan Ninetales, very interesting, but one of the pickups, and he picked it up rather late, and everybody was surprised that it lasted that long. The Hatterene. What makes that Mon so good?
Hatterene.
Yeah.
Man, the 136 special attack and the ability to survive any move and just go from there and hit Trick Room. And it gets a special move called Expanding Force that does a lot of damage. And he's part of Fairy type.
Off of a high special attack, right?
Yeah. And he also gets Dazzling Gleam, and he's just disgusting. It's a very good Mon. To go up against.
So from what we've seen, right, we've seen that Josh is a pretty decent battler as well. I love his C tiers. He's got one that's obviously bulkier. He's got the Tentacruel, which I think will be the Mon of choice most of the time. He's got Magmortar, which again underrated as far as the moveset and the punch, right, that it can pack. But one of the main things that we're interested to see, right, is how you and I had talked about this. The Alolan Ninetales at first, it just doesn't seem like anything works with it. But if he gets Aurorvel, I mean, he's got a couple of Mons that can benefit from that, right?
Oh, yeah, a lot of the Mons, especially for just double battles. Aurorvel helps out the Hatterene to have the Trick Room, and now the Hatterene's sitting behind the Trick Room, fastest thing on the field, taking a lot less damage and throwing out a tons of damage alongside it. That's the scary part about it because Olonatos also gets Blizzard. I mean, whoever plays him, gotta be very careful on the double side of it. That's where I'm seeing that a lot of these mods do a lot of work. I love the Gastron for doubles as well for Storm Drain. So you can't really use water types against him as well because Gastron's out there. Or electric type mods. Like I really like his team. His team is very well suited more for doubles, I think for singles, but it's a very good team.
Yeah, right. The Gastrodon helps the Terrakion, right? As far as they can't really, they got to think about maybe what water types or can't use water types themselves. But going back to the Alola Ninetales, setting up the Aurora Veil, you know, yeah, the Hell itself might chip the Dragonite if that's what, you know, if it's not running protective pads or anything like that. I believe, right? Protective pads, or is it? Or is it
I
the
believe
goggles?
it's safety goggles.
Yeah, so it might be the goggles. Whatever it is,
yeah,
like that helps with the Hell, you know. But a Dragonite behind a Aurora Veil is going to be able to set up Dragon Dance. And so that already itself is going to be nasty, right? Terrakion can set up Swords Dance. It's going to allow certain mons to just try and set up. And so that's where I think the Aurora Veil, right, can become really powerful.
Another one is a Rude. People don't know that, but Rude gets bulk up. Bulk up's Rude is a very powerful mon that you do not sleep on.
Right, the ability to go +1/+1 is actually, you know, as we know, right, it's really strong. Plus, you're still behind the screen. So, yeah, very, very strong. That kind of rounds out the Cherish Ball. So Gilbert, again, you have another Master Ball here. Who are you going to add it to?
It's between two players, but I'm gonna get to Washington Walreins. I think his team just has great synergy overall, and he's just his team's disgusting. But let's be honest, guys, his team's very good. So I'm gonna give it to the Washington Walreins.
Yeah, as we mentioned, very solid team, going to a good player, right? That it was second overall as far as our preseason, working with that. Let's, you know, I'm sure he's going to try and translate it into the regular season and pick up a few wins with that very, very solid team he has. Congratulations on a really good draft there to him. I think this division as well, they've all, even for, you know, for having a player that didn't even make the draft, I think this division as well, fully drafted well. Really am a big fan of Bay Area and Basket Legion's team. Really like the way, just kind of everything. The stack of legendaries, it's almost going to feel bad that you have to leave some of those Pokemon out. Very good team. Very good team. Very looking forward to the battles. That'll wrap it up for this Cherish Ball draft review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please watch the other videos of the other divisions. Keep track on them. And good luck to everybody in this division and the league. Talk to you guys later.
Later.